दिखाता है तो तुरंत दिखाता है ना वो, तो रुकी 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 5 मिनट रुकी वो कौन सा था करो शो समथिंग समथिंग कर रहा था तो मतलब करो करो शो करो शो करो 3 बार ना नंबर लगा मैं खुद ही देखो रिमूव कर दूँ तो एक बार मैंने एक बार करा
Mm.
17 ME405. Can you listen to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Let me just wait for others and then we'll start with the session.
Okay. Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, exam date no month
કરી
પછી ઈચ્છા છે આપણને.
ના લઈ લે કઈ વાંધો નહીં કરી આપીશ એન્ડ એક્ઝામ ડેટ એ નથી તારા એક્ઝામના જે રિઝલ્ટ આવી જાય ને એના પછી બી બને તો તું અહીં આવતો રહેજે અહીંયાથી પ્રોસેસિંગ બી થઈ જશે સ્મૂથલી.
હા પણ એટલે શું કહેવાય સ્કોલરશિપ ની અંદર છે ને એટલે પેમેન્ટ નું કે એનું કઈ એક્ઝામ ડેટ લેતી વખતે
ખબર નહીં પડી સ્કોલરશિપની અંડર એટલે
એટલે એક્ઝામ ફીસ મારે આપવી પડશે ને 14,000 કે
હા હા હા
હા તો એ એટલે મારા ખ્યાલથી કોલેજ તરફથી છે એટલે પ્રોસિજર ખબર નથી.
એટલે મારે વાત કરવી પડશે ઇવન આઈ ડોન્ટ નો દેટ એ તો હું વત્સલ સર જોડે વાત કરી લઈશ હું તારી પ્રોસિજરની વાત કરું છું ફાઇલ તું મૂકીશ ને.
હા એ ટેસ્ટ રિઝલ્ટ આવ્યા પછી.
હા ઓકે સો ઇવન ફોર દેટ વિલ હેલ્પ યુ એનું ચિંતા ના કરીશ અહીંયાથી જે બી છે બધું કરી આપશે તો ટાઈમ કાઢીને આવજે એન્ડ ઇવન ધી રેસ્ટ ઓફ ધેમ દો દે હેવ નોટ અટેન્ડેડ ધી ક્લાસ તું લઈને આવીશ તો અહીંયા શું આઈ નો યુ પીપલ એન્ડ યુ નો મી તો સ્મૂથલી થોડું થઈ જાય તમારું રાઈટ.
યસ મેમ.
કઈ તમારે કઈ તકલીફ ના પડે બીજું કઈ નહીં. ઓકે જે બી છે માસ્ટર્સના કોર્સ કરવા હોય જે બી છે એકવાર એને મળી જશે.
એટલે થોડો આઈડિયા છે કેમ કે મારો ભાઈ ટ્રાય કરે છે ને એટલે એવું કહે છે કે થઈ જશે આપણાથી પણ.
ના વાંધો નહીં તો એકવાર
એ તો હું ટ્રાય કરીશ.
તો
ઓકે
ડેટ જ્યારે બી તું લેવાનું વિચારું છું ક્યારે વિચારું છું ડેટ લેવાનું.
હા મેમ સન્ડે છે 29 ઓગસ્ટ.
ઓકે કઈ વાંધો નહીં હું વાત કરી લઉં સર જોડે.
ઓકે.
ઓકે let me just wait for 2 minutes and then we'll start. Okay. Meanwhile, others join. We'll start with your speaking.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Could you please tell me your name?
My name is Bhavya Bhartiya.
Okay. Bhavya, what is the meaning of your name?
My name generally means glorious or something big. It is generally used with ceremonies and occasions like Bhavya ceremony.
Okay. Do you get free time during between the work and the leisure activities?
Yes, I get a lot of free time as currently I'm only preparing for IELTS.
Hmm.
I usually get a couple of hours every day for leisure activities.
Okay. What kind of other activities you like to do whenever you get free?
When I get free, I usually like to watch movies or TVs on various OTT platforms such as Netflix or Amazon Prime. Other than that, I like to read some articles as I have enrolled in a magazine called Safari.
Mm-hmm.
I usually read it.
Okay. Do you get enough time to travel?
Uh, yes, as I have not other work to do, such as I'm not currently enrolled in any job or any studies, I get lot of time to travel. I usually travel once a week to nearby places such as temples or village or market, etc.
Okay. Uh, Given a chance, which place would you like to visit? Which place would you like to visit in a broad country, and why would you like to visit that place?
The place that I would really like to visit is the city, New York City in United States of America. I am usually attracted towards this particular city due to the amount of tall skyscrapers it has. It always amazes me to look at such tall buildings. Apart from that, it has a green area located at the center of the city called Central Park, which is almost the half the size of the city that currently I am living in. So I would really like to visit that.
Okay. Do you like to visit parks and gardens in your free time?
Yes, I like to visit parks and gardens in my free time. I have some locations nearby my home. One of my favorite is Narbada Park, which is just beside the river Narbada, which is recently inaugurated, and it has nice scenery and a very broad area. And I usually go there to walk sometimes in evening.
Okay. Uh, if I talk on the strength and weaknesses, is there is any strength and weaknesses that you have and you would like to share?
Uh, this Well, talking about the strength, I usually try to focus my attention towards the work, and I try to find out possible outcomes, and I figure out from which way I will get the best outcomes. So I like to work in both smart ways and hard work ways. And talking about my weaknesses, while in a conversation or discussion, I usually get very excited and I give my opinion without even listening to the entire point of the another person, which most of the time backfires.
Okay, that's good. Now we'll be moving towards your phase two. So are you ready for your phase two?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So please write down the question. Let me know if it is not getting repeated for you. Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, talk about talk about your dream house. Talk about your dream house. Talk about your dream house. In that, write down where it will be located. Where it will be located. Next, what type of house? What type of house would you like to live in? What type of house would you like to live in? Next, what kind of what kind of what kind of atmosphere you would look for? What kind of atmosphere you would look for? Kind of atmosphere you would look for. And next, write down how you would how you will feel how you will feel after moving to your dream house. How you will feel after moving to your dream house. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You'll be having 1 minute to prepare and then 2 minutes to speak over your topic. So first you need to start preparing. So start.
Okay.
All right, done.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You may now start with your एकच minute. You can now start.
Owning a beautiful house is one of the dreams that everyone possesses. Some people wants to live in a big mansions with lot of rooms and lot of outdoor spaces, while a small room is just fine for other people. If I talk about me, I would like to live in a penthouse, which would be situated on the top floors of the flat. I would like to have such kind of penthouse in a developed city such as Ahmedabad or Baroda, because in cities where I live, there are not there are lots of bungalows, but there aren't many flats. I would like to, I would wish that my house would be located near the city, not right in the city, as it is very noisy and there are a lot of cars, there will be a lot of cars around it, which would be which would create a lot of nuisance and pollutions. Uh, I would like to live in penthouse because I always dreamed about living in a flat at a floor such as at a very high floor such as 10th or 15th, because I like to see the scenery of the whole city, and it feels like we are on top of the world. We are isolated from the other parts or crowded areas, which gives us freedom and very free time. The penthouse and a penthouse outweighs that it has minimum 3 bedrooms with adequate amount of restrooms, uh, and it should be having a big balcony where I can plant a few, where I can do gardening, as gardening is one of the activities I do in
You may
leisure
stop.
time.
You may now stop.
Okay.
Okay. Content was good. You were fluent. Again, it's just that you need to avoid certain repetitions. Rest is fine.
Yes.
Okay. Just take care of that. Now, if I talk about houses, what kind of houses generally do people like to live in? Do they like to live in a independent house or in a flat?
Uh, from what I have noticed, many people from where I come from, many people like to live in the individual houses. It gives lots of freedom, as houses are separated. There is a lot of outdoor space where they can easily park their vehicles, as everyone has nowadays at least one motorcycle or car.
Hmm.
And sometimes it is in flats. Sometimes we feel that it is very, people feel that it is very congested, as we do not get that much freedom and privacy as compared to individual house. But it is not the always case, because many flats are located in very good locations, and scenery wise they are beautifully placed, and they have lots of rooms, so people like to live in flats as well.
Okay. Uh, what kind of jobs do young people not want to do in your country?
In my country, young people always dream about having a prestigious job, such as working in a corporate firm or any other commercial buildings or the small businesses. What people don't like to do is having a minor job such as a repair worker or small electricians. They really feel that uh, they feel that they are not having much acknowledgement, as people in my country has highly distinguished people between people with good job positions and lower job positions.
Okay. Who is best at advising young people about choosing a job, teachers or parents, according to you?
Well, I think that both are very accurate while giving such advice, because they have lots of experience. I would say that teachers are more appropriate for that role, because a lot of students has passed down through them, and they have watched many of their students having a poor job due to their backgrounds, or such good jobs due to some other backgrounds. So they have a vast number of examples to give to particular one. So I think that teachers are suitable for giving advice for job role.
Okay. Is money always the most important thing when choosing the job?
Uh, well, most of the time, money is the driving factor, as everyone wants to be financially independent. but a job is providing a good package, then people should also look for the job location, the environment which they will be working, and the room for growth as well.
Okay. Uh, do you agree that many people nowadays are under pressure to work longer hours and take less holiday?
Well, I do not have such experience about it, but from I have observed from the family members, I have always noticed that people who work in a private firm do not get lots of holidays, but the people who work in government sectors, they get lots of holidays compared to the private job holders.
Okay. The last question for you is, what is the impact on society of people having a poor work-life balance?
Mm,
Hmm? Does it impact the society?
one. Well, I would say that it cannot directly impact the society. It can indirectly impact the society as it is uh, individual altogether part of society, and they somehow reflects their personality somehow reflects the personality of the society. If there is not a proper balance between work and life, then the life individual gets very depressed or stressed, and there are chances that uh, he cannot contribute himself to other things as well, which may impact the society.
Okay. Bhavya will keep at 6.5 today. I think
Okay.
phase 3 and phase 2 don't get conscious to speak any of the content. You can still speak better, right? Just take care of
Yes, ma'am.
that next time. Hmm? I don't think so. Anyone else is coming. So let me play listening first for you. Please let me know whether it is audible or not.
મેમ લિસનિંગ ની પીડીએફ શેર નથી કરી ને વિડિયો છે.
વિડિયો છે એટલે ડિરેક્ટ લખાશે આઈ સપોઝ. છે કે કોઈ પ્રોબ્લેમ પડશે એમાં લિસનિંગમાં?
નો એટલે મને મળ્યું ના એટલે પૂછ્યું જશે.
નો ડિરેક્ટલી થઈ જશે?
થઈ જશે.
ઓકે ટ્રાય કરી જો. ના થતું હોય તો આઈ કેન ડુ વિથ રીડિંગ એન્ડ રાઇટિંગ હિયર. સ્પીકિંગ તારું થઈ ગયું છે. લિસનિંગ ऐसा होगा तो आई विल जस्ट सेंड यू दी कॉपी. લિસનિંગ કરીને પછી સ્કોર્સ લખી દેજે.
ઓકે.
Whatever you choose to do, what you want to do.
મેમ હું કરી દઉં કેમ કે વિડિયો તો છે.
હા વિડીયોમાં
પ્લે
ક્વેશ્ચન્સ
કરીને.
છે. ઓકે
હા તો હું કરીને કેમ કે
હા
જરૂરી છે આ ચાલુ રાખવું. નેટ ખાસું
હા
બધું ડ્રેન થશે 3 કલાક.
ઓકે એવું છે.
હા એટલે લાસ્ટ ટાઈમ પણ
Just-
એવું થયું હતું, નેટ પતી ગયું હતું એટલે
Okay.
રીડિંગમાં જ હું લેફ્ટ થઈ ગયો હતો ઓટોમેટિક.
ઓકે એવું છે. ઇન ધેટ કેસ કઈ વાંધો નહીં. સો એવું હશે તો એક્ઝિટ થઈ જાઓ. એક્ઝિટ ના થઈશ બીકોઝ યોર ટેસ્ટ શુડ બી રેકોર્ડેડ બેટર.
ઓકે હા તો કઈ વાંધો નહીં, ચાલુ રાખું.
જોઈ લે
ઓકે તો મેમ
એડજસ્ટ થતું હોય તો.
લિસનિંગ સ્ટાર્ટ કરો થશે.
એવું હશે તો ઓનલી વિલ ડુ વિથ લિસનિંગ. પછી રીડિંગ જ્યારે કરવા જાઓ આઈ વિલ કીપ ધી પેપર. ઓકે and ऐसा होगा तो you exit it and then you come back once you finish it after 1 hour. I'll give you the timer तो at least timer चालू हो एम.
ઓકે.
Okay something can be done. चलो we'll see. Are you agree with this?
ના મેમ નહીં સંભળાય.
नहीं संभला तो एक ज मिनट हाँ. Copy.
एक मिनट, ये हम नहीं चेक कर रहे, ये अपने फॉर्म में
Join the club.
Can you listen?
First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Okay, fine. પાકું audible છે?
મેમ થોડોક ઓડિયો વધે.
Audio વધારો, right? I mean sound વધારો.
હા હા.
એક જ મિનિટ.
You will hear a
Okay.
conversation between an assistant at a health club and a man who wants to join the club. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Okay. ભવ્ય 1 to 40 લેબલ કરી દીધા છે ને તે?
હા
And questions દેખાય છે properly?
હા દેખાય છે.
Okay, fine. Just confirm me one thing, even if I'm mute, are you able to listen to the audio?
Between an assistant at a health club and a man who wants to join the club. First, you have some time to look at questions 1.
Were you able to listen when I kept it muted?
યસ મેમ.
Okay, then there is no problem. તો હું mute કરી દઉં છું. In case કોઈ problem આવે તો phone પર text કરી દેજે, leave કરીને, whatever you find it convenient. So
Oh.
that our dialog box નીકળી જાય, બીજું કંઈ નહીં. Okay? Yes, go ahead.
યસ.
1 to 5. Hi, can I help you?
Hello. Yes, is your club taking on new members at the moment?
Oh, yes. We're always interested in taking on new members. Just give me a moment and I'll get an application form. Right. Here we are. So, let's start with your name.
It's Harry.
Okay. And your surname?
It's Simons.
Is that like Simon with an S?
No, it's SYMONDS. Most people find it rather difficult to spell.
I see. It has a silent D. I guess a lot of people miss that. Now, let me see. Can you tell me when you were born?
Yes, certainly. The 11th of December.
Thanks. And the year?
1996.
Okay, good. Now, are you thinking of becoming a full-time member?
Probably not. What kind of memberships do you have?
Well, we also have off-peak membership, which is between 9 and 12 in the morning and 2 and 5 in the afternoon. And then we do have a weekend membership.
So a weekend membership is just Saturday and Sunday?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Well, that's not going to work for me. It looks like I'll have to be full-time. I'm afraid off-peak membership won't do, as I'm not free at those times, and I don't just want to be restricted to weekends.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. Right, we have several facilities at the club, including a gym, a swimming pool, tennis and squash courts. What activities are you planning on doing?
Well, do you have badminton?
Yes, we do.
And table tennis?
I'm afraid not. Well, not at the moment, anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm also very keen on swimming, so I'm glad you have a pool. I'll certainly be doing a lot of that.
Okay, I've got that. Will you be using the gym?
No, I'm not interested in that.
Okay, so just let me work out what the cost will be. Yes, that comes to £450 for the year. You can choose to pay annually for the full year or monthly. It's up to you.
Oh, I'd prefer to pay regularly in small amounts, rather than have a large amount to pay in one go, if that's okay.
Sure, that's fine. Right, I've got the most important details for now.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
So, I'd just like to ask you a few questions about your lifestyle, if that's okay with you.
Yes, that's fine.
Do you do any regular exercise at the moment?
Yes, I do a bit.
Good. And what do you do?
Well, every few days I go jogging.
Yes, that's good. How long do you go for?
Well, it varies. I guess it depends on how energetic I'm feeling.
Yes, of course. Every little bit helps. Do you have any injuries at the moment?
Well, I did break a bone in my foot playing football a long time ago, but that's all healed up now. But in the last few days, I've realised I have a bad ankle. I think I must have injured it last week, and it's a bit sore now. But apart from that, I'm fine.
Right. I guess you might need to rest it for a few days to let it recover.
Yes, I will.
So, let me just ask you what you want to achieve by joining the club. Do you have any targets or goals?
Well, I suppose my main aim is to build up my fitness level. Is that the kind of thing you mean?
Yes, that's fine. All the activities you're going to be doing should certainly help you with that.
Okay.
And could you tell me what you do for a living?
Well, I was a student up until recently.
Okay, so what are you doing at the moment?
Well, I'm a charity worker.
Oh, that's fine. I'll write that down. Okay, nearly done. One last question. Can I ask how you heard about the club? Did you see it advertised or did you go to our website, for example?
Well, I've been looking for a health club for a while, and I asked my friends for suggestions, but they weren't much help. And then I was listening to the radio, and your club was mentioned. So I thought, I'll go along and see what it's like.
Great. Well, we look forward to having you as a member.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 2. You will hear a hotel manager talking to her staff about the arrangements for an event to be held at the weekend. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all feeling okay after the activities of the last week or so. I know you've all been working very hard recently, and we've been exceptionally busy, especially with the wedding last weekend and the trade fair straight after that. And now we have only 3 days to prepare for the birthday party this weekend. The events recently have gone extremely well, and the hotel is beginning to get a very good reputation, so we need to keep it up. At the moment, we don't have exact numbers of guests, and though we usually only cater for groups of less than 50, we will have quite a few more than that. So, as I said, not sure of numbers, but of course we won't go over the maximum of 100. But it's likely that we will need all of you to work this weekend, so if any of you can't, please let me know as soon as possible. Right, so what time will the event start? Well, the invitation says guests should arrive between 7:30 and 7:45, but our experience is that there are always a few who like to arrive early, so we'll expect the first people at 7:15. As the numbers are quite large, this will certainly be the case. Food will be served at around 8:30, and then, depending on how long the meal takes, the entertainment will start about 2 hours later. Now, for this, we were expecting a live band for the occasion, which is always fun. But apparently this has been cancelled due to illness. So, the hosts know someone who is a comedian who will be replacing the band. We had hoped that the resident magician who worked here through the summer would be able to help out, but they weren't keen on that idea.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
So, I'd just like to go through who's doing what when the guests arrive, and I think we'll make a few changes from the last party held here. If I remember correctly, it was Olav who coordinated the task of providing the guests with drinks. Or was it Ahmed? I'm not sure, but Gary asked to do it this time, so that will be his job. There's been no decision yet on what the drinks are going to be, but I hope they decide soon in case we need to order something special. Now, for receiving the guests' coats and hats, it's important we have someone experienced doing this, as we don't want guests losing their belongings. And Monica, last time this was your responsibility. Susan, I know you wanted to do this, but as the numbers are quite high for this event, I won't make a change here. Right. Now, last time there was some confusion as to where guests were supposed to go once they had deposited their things, and we had guests roaming around the whole hotel. So, Ahmed and Olav, I believe you discussed the problems with Susan and thought she would be good at guiding guests after they had arrived. And I'm fine with that. Right, and now for some general instructions. Once the guests have arrived, they will be in and around the lounge area, and then at around 8:30, we need to get them to move to the restaurant for their meal. This often proves difficult and can take a long time, so I will ring a bell so that everyone knows it's time to eat. Hopefully, this will speed things up a bit. Also, for this event, there'll be a seating plan, so the guests won't be able to decide for themselves where to sit. They'll have to sit according to the plan. There will be a plan on each table, and I've been thinking about where to put the master plan so everyone can view it before they enter the restaurant. As they'll be spending quite a while in the lounge, I've decided to also put a plan there. This should speed up the start of the meal. Once the meal starts, you'll all be very busy waiting on the tables, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you to be good-humoured and polite to all the guests. The organiser of the event will be saying a few words, and so will two of his colleagues. So, when the speeches start, all activity must stop in the restaurant, so that the three people giving them can be heard. This shouldn't take long, and it should be towards the end of the meal. After that, the guests will move back to the lounge for the entertainment. So, I think that's it. Any questions? Come and see me later.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 3. You will hear two students discussing an assignment. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25.
Hi, Melanie. What did you think of the assignment that we got today? It looks interesting, doesn't it?
Yes, Alan. I've always been interested in recycling, but there's a lot of research to do.
Yes, there are a lot of things I'm unsure of, so it's going to be good working with you.
OK. Well, why don't we start by making a flowchart from the notes our tutor gave us?
Yes. So on one side we could have the paper production cycle here on the left, and on the other side the recycling.
Good idea. Let's start at the top with the production. The first step in the process is to get the raw materials.
Yes, and they tend to come from pine forests.
Okay. And then the bark is removed from the outside of the tree, and after that, the wood is chopped up. That's the first 3 stages.
It sounds a bit complicated after that. It says water is added, and then the mixture is heated and made into pulp. This will be the thick paste that is used to make paper.
Yes, you're right, because after that, they use a machine to make the paper, and we can put that right in the centre of the flowchart, because it's also where the recycled paper joins the process.
Yes. So, once the paper has been produced in the machine, what happens then?
Well, I think we should write print as the next step, because this is when newspapers, magazines, etc. are produced. And we could also add that they have to be distributed to stores and people's homes.
Right. Then the recycling bit starts. The old paper's collected, and then it says it's taken somewhere so that someone or something can sort it. I imagine there are different kinds of paper, or things like paper clips that need to be removed.
Yes. Let's have a step after that. Now, how did our tutor say they do this? Oh yes, it involves chemicals. So, how is your chemistry?
Well, not very good, I'm afraid. But this is how they remove ink, so this is definitely going to need a bit of research.
Right. The last step in the recycling section is similar to the last step in the production process, with heating and pulping, before the cycle begins again.
Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
So I think going through the processes helped. Now we need to decide how we're going to do this assignment.
Yes. I guess what we need to do is take the processes and divide them up between us. But we could start thinking about an introduction.
Yes, okay. Well, I can start doing that. I think I have enough to go on already.
Good. And there are a few areas where we need a lot more information. I think I'll start with something easy. Let's say the paper collection. I could go to the resource centre to do some research.
Well, I think a better idea would be to approach someone who's involved in the process. What about contacting the council?
Oh, good idea. Yes, I'll do that instead. They're bound to have some information. And I know just the thing to add to our work to make it even more interesting.
And what's that?
Well, in my last assignment, I added a few pictures, and the feedback I got was that this wasn't academic enough. So what might really bring it to life would be to include some data, provided we can find some.
Yes, that sounds excellent. Well, we certainly have a lot to do and not much time to do it in.
You're right. I think we have about 5 weeks, so I suggest we create a plan of work today. The end of the month is nearly 3 weeks away, and then we have a few days holiday.
Yes, so let's see if we can get the first draft done by then, so we can take a short break.
Okay. Then after the break, we'll have just over a week to complete it. I wonder if we could get someone to review our work for us a few days before the deadline, so we can make some final changes. What about your friend, Henry?
Well, the best person would be our tutor. Henry's very good, but he's taking a whole week's holiday, and there won't be enough time when he returns.
Okay then, that's fine.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 4. You will hear a lecture about hair. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, and welcome to this lecture on hair, which is a part of the human biology course. This lecture covers a number of facts about hair, its structure, and what can affect the general health of hair. So, first of all, what is hair, and why do we have it? If we look back at our ancestors, we'll see that they had a lot more hair on their bodies than we do now. And there are, or were, two main reasons for having hair. One is to provide warmth, but as humans have worn clothes for many years, body hair has significantly reduced. The other is for protection. And again, this isn't as significant as it was once, but hair does still benefit areas of the body, such as the head and around the eyes. Now, hair, whatever it is for and wherever it is on the human body, is composed mainly of a protein called keratin. This, by the way, is also found in fingernails. In fact, it's keratin which makes them flexible, and without it they would be very rigid. Another interesting fact about hair is that it is very strong as iron, in fact. One single strand can support a weight of up to 100 grams. This may not sound all that much, but a full head of hair can support up to 12 tons, which is the equivalent of a couple of elephants, which is simply amazing, though I advise you not to put this to the test. Humans lose up to 100 strands of hair a day, but we do have quite a lot of hair to start with. There's some variation depending on hair color, but for an average adult, the strand count is 100,000, so losing 100 a day is not too bad. Although this is the average, people with red hair have around 80,000 strands, black or brown hair 100,000, and blondes have about 120,000. So, hair used to be important for the reasons I mentioned earlier, but nowadays I'd say the main importance of hair is the fact that it is big business. Apart from the money involved in haircutting, shaving, trimming, etc., a fortune is spent just on hair products. In the UK alone, consumers spend over £5 billion each year on these. So next, I'd like to just give you a quick overview of the structure of hair. As you can see, along the length of the hair, there are three main parts, called the bulb, the root, and the shaft. A single hair is fixed at one end below the skin in the bulb. The bulb acts rather like a cap. It encloses the end of the hair in the head. The next part of the hair is the root, and this is the part of the hair which lies just beneath the skin, and, in terms of hair production, is the most important. This can be considered the control center for each strand of hair, and is where the glands are found. These produce oil, which flows along the length of the hair, and the health of the root determines the overall health of the strand of hair. The last part is the shaft, and this is the hair which is above the skin, and is, of course, what we can see. Fortunately, this is not active, and I say fortunately because otherwise it would be very painful to have your hair cut. And finally, I'd just like to go over a few factors that impact on the overall health of hair. Like every other part of the body, our diet, that is, what we eat, is extremely important to the condition of our hair. But whereas a change in your diet to, for example, eating unhealthy foods will soon be noticeable in your skin, changes to your hair will take a lot longer. A change in diet today could take several months to have an effect on your hair. And so, what is the key to healthy hair? Well, eating a balanced diet is the most important thing. There are a number of vitamins that are vital for good hair health. The main ones being vitamins C, D, and E. And in a balanced diet, all these vitamins should be readily available. If you need a boost of vitamin C, for example, one of the best things to eat are blueberries. For vitamin D, the best examples are fish, mushrooms, and eggs. And for vitamin E, nuts and seeds. Right. So let's go on to what it...
ભવ્ય થઈ ગયું?
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Hello, ma'am.
ઓકે ભવ્ય થઈ ગયું?
મેમ ડિસ્કનેક્ટ થઈ ગયો હતો. 39 અને 40 રહી ગયા.
39 ને 40 રહી ગયું. Do you want me to play again?
ચાલશે આમ તો. રીડિંગ સ્ટાર્ટ
ચાલશે.
કરી દો.
ઓકે
હા.
કરી દે. ફાઇન.
Ma'am, reading up to 6 p.m. Hello, ma'am.
Done?
Yes, ma'am.
ઓકે ફાઇન, એક જ મિનિટ હા. ગ્રુપમાં પોસ્ટ કરી દીધું છે, કાલે છેલ્લું FLT છે આપણું ને એ પ્રમાણે કાલે કાઉન્સેલિંગ સેશન બી છે for your courses and the job opportunities, PR, whatever you want to ask for, right? So I have posted in the group. Even if your friend and anybody is interested, you can pitch them in. ઠીક છે?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so writing complete કરીને મોકલી દઈશ?
Yes, ma'am. 7 વાગ્યા સુધીમાં 7:05 સુધીમાં complete કરી.
આરામથી, ના બી થાય તો કાલ સુધી સાંજ સુધી બધું મને મોકલી દેજો. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
And plan to take your date. If you want to take it directly through phone or maybe Vatsal sir, I'll talk to him. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Right? Okay, fine. Chalo.
Bye, ma'am.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.